Anytime during the presentation, if you have any question about the material, please feel free to ask me. This is a very informal highlight of a technical paper. Topic is Dragon versus Eagle, and boy am I glad the election is over. Now I can talk about military and politics without trying to influence people. As we know, America has been in Asia since after World War II. It's been a predominant power. And the recent rise of Chinese economic power and China's desire to recover its former influence in the world has caused these two giant empires to collide. 2 years ago, a think tank helped the national defense infrastructure to think about what America needs to do to compete with China for the next 20 or 30 years. This is a publication they came up with, Air-Sea Battle Concept. And this is the plan by which President Obama is basing his current military, diplomatic, as well as his policy towards military spending is focused on. It is a very old concept. This is the same concept used against the Russians in the 1980s, except they call it air-land battle concept because the primary battlefield in the 1980s was the plains of Europe. It talks about the integration of the Air Force and the Army to combat the Russian military forces, which are basically Air Force and Army. In the context of Asia, America will not use its army or land-based forces in Asia. The last time Americans sending ground troops was in Vietnam, and either psychologically or militarily, they're not going to do that. America has zero capacity to invade China. So the primary focus will be air and sea. These two capacities will form the basis of American power projection. This is what America has been doing since World War II. Projecting what it wants to do anywhere in the world. The air-sea battle is about pushing Americans' power into Asia while China pushes back from inside. The two basic ideas we have is A2 and AD. This is military talk for anti-axis. This means Americans' ability to get into a place and China's ability to prevent American forces from going into a country. And area denial. This means denying movement. If American ships want to transit from Hawaii to Japan through Taiwan, China's Navy will block the movement of American military. So this means China doesn't want America in Asia. This is going to be expensive. And this is the basis for which China and America will compete. This is the primary way America has been projecting power since World War II. Aircraft carriers, you have the ability to have a mobile military base anywhere in the world. Anytime the Middle East heats up, we send one of these bad boys down the Gulf to show people if we want to bomb you, we can bomb you at 11:45 a.m. with a 2,000-pound bomb right at your front door. This gives us the ability to pulverize any city in the world, but it's vulnerable. It travels slowly, it's a big target, and it's expensive to move. And it needs an open sea. America's second ability to project power is what we call mid-air refueling. This is a very, very psychologically dangerous picture. These are technically two airplanes having sex in mid-air. And with this capacity, your airplane can stay afloat 24 hours a day. China do not have this capacity. During the Gulf War, we kept over 60 tankers in the air to keep combat operation around the clock. This means you have effectively, these airplanes don't have to land until their pilots are tired or they run out of bomb. This gives normally a 2-hour flight, nearly 16 hours of combat time with the right drug. This is a huge force multiplier, and China doesn't have anything near it. The third one is what we call chicken of the sea. Nuclear submarines are quiet, but their primary purpose is to hide. They have the ability to track all the ships in the sea, and if need to, very quietly sink them. This is a powerful capacity to block an island, a passage. China doesn't have nuclear-powered submarine. It has quite a few diesel. There's a few experimental devices, but they're nowhere near this. This is a Los Angeles class 68I class. This device can stay underwater for 6 months without surfacing. It has the combat ability to sink over 40 ships just by its torpedo. It can also fire missiles at ships and at cities. This is the primary reason why the Russians never went to war with us. They have no idea where the submarines are hiding, and you can't predict when they're going to attack. Anybody scared? Anybody want to change their vote? It's too late. Okay. This is where American and China compete in Asia. China sees the world with itself in the center. It sees Asia in primarily 2 sections. This is called Ring 1 and Ring 2. Ring 1, this is where China considers its territory. From here to here, they consider this their field. From everything outside here is international. But Americans don't conceive it this way. Americans believe in the freedom of the sea, as most post-industrial mercantile countries believe. Ocean is there for everybody. So they want to have total freedom of access. America's power projection in Asia is Japan and Guam. Philippines kicked them out, so they're done. So as you can see, these 2 are at the outer edges of what China considers international. But Americans believe they have the right to go anywhere. This is where the conflict is. If something happens, let's say Ma Ying-jeou lost his mind tomorrow and declares Taiwan independence, China is going to want to blockade Taiwan. First thing they will do, attack Americans' computer network via their cyber military. This will disable their ability to communicate and control. And then China will fire something called ASAT, anti-satellite devices. They're going to fire missiles into space and kill American satellite. It's funny, right? They did this in 2007 already. China has the ability to kill satellite. By killing the satellite, America loses its ability to look down in China to find out where the ships are. So this is how China is going to escalate. And finally, they're going to bombard American military assets, primarily Japan and Guam. This means the closest American military base is in Hawaii. As everybody knows, that's 15 hours of flight and 7 beers. This is why this year, President Obama made an alliance with Australia to have stronger military ties. And this is why there will be military bases in Australia, which is right here. It puts them beyond the ability of China to attack, but with the mid-air refueling capacity, America can attack back to China. This is where we're moving the forces away from China. We're going to attack from further on, but we're still going to counter them. Anybody want to move to Australia? I am, 2 years. This is where China's military distribution hardware are placed. As you can see, it's mostly coastal with a few central places. No surprise, Beijing has the highest number of missiles because they fear Americans will attack them first, kill their leadership, and prevent them from responding. So this is how America is going to attack back. The red line represents the furthest military projection China can have. A missile, airplane, ship without danger. First, we are going to send our Aegis cruisers, which is a system designed for anti-missile defense. So we effectively put a shield around Japan to prevent missiles from hitting their bases. And then from the submarine, we are going to launch cruise missiles to take out their coastal hardwares. Then the stealth bomber Air Force campaign attack further inside because the coastal anti-air defenses have now been obliterated. Lastly, the aircraft carrier comes back and project a massive amount of power to prevent China from airplane taking off, sending ships out, which is all wonderful. Except, military power cannot solve the fundamental issue. We have two world power fighting for control. We can kill each other, but the problem will still remain. This is where American policy falls short. They have the hardware to figure out what they can do with it. They don't plan for the aftermath. In Vietnam, they didn't transition. In the first Gulf War, they didn't think about what happened after war. In the second Gulf War, they didn't think about what happened after war. In Afghanistan, they didn't think through. War is not enough. We can't fight the war unless we have to fight the peace. And this is something military people don't think about. They leave it to the civilian. But this is something interesting to see how each president handles. But for now, this is the wonderful world we live in, where we can kill each other with precision and with PowerPoint. Lastly, this is what it's all about. Two large countries fighting for influence. But ultimately, it's a posture, it's a fight for its own people. We don't want to be attacked, we don't want to attack. But we have to make sure our people believe we're ready, because the modern democratic power is based on fear. Without fear, there's no action. And when you keep people afraid for so long, you have to have a stick to show you're willing to fight. Thank you.
Thank you.